and welcome back to the worst movie podcast in the world. And this week we are going to be looking at The Hunger Games. The first one and the other ones, they're too shit for us to actually endure to watch. So we just watched the first one. In commemoration that the fact that the prequel's coming out. So thought we'd try this out. So straight off the bat,
first one's generational, okay.
See if it gets us more views.
Straight off the bat, I'm joined this week by Joe, Decos, and Ryan. Say hi, guys.
It'd be a better idea if you let everyone, if you said someone's name, let them say hi.
Yeah, I don't see you
one by
Ryan.
one say hi
Right.
so people understand who we
I was
are.
gonna get a gathering crowd of people saying hi, so that it sounded wholesome
Hello,
and
Cameron. I shall respond to you.
I do
Thanks,
not like
man.
Cameron
Thanks.
anymore.
Hello, Cameron, Decos, and Ryan.
After making me watch Aliens a couple of weeks back, we no longer talk.
I enjoyed it.
The tensions are very high.
I loved watching it.
It's like Brad Pitt and the director in World War Z. You know, I see Cameron in the street, but I don't because we live nowhere near each other anymore.
Aliens.
Or ever.
So here we go.
Anymore.
So what did people think? Decos, I'm gonna start with you. In fact, I'm gonna start with you very often. Decos, what did you think?
I don't think you've ever started with me.
Yeah, this is a breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
Yeah,
Podcast exclusive.
Hello.
Yeah. Watching it again, there was an alright. I think it was alright. I think the first time watch was definitely better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've all said that as well.
Hunger Games.
When did you actually watch it? Just
watched it like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh my god!
I thought
you were going to say like in the
time?
cinema when it came
You
out.
watched it for the first time.
I watched it when it first came out on DVD.
I feel like we all did the same thing.
I feel we were the target demographic.
Yeah, we were for when it was like coming out.
Dystopian movies.
Watching it again, it was a bit mediocre for the sole fact of it set a precedent for the cinema over the next couple of years of similar films.
Oh, Divergent.
Yeah, and Maze Runner.
I would argue against that. Actually, okay,
What?
no. I was going to say, I'd argue against it because this almost felt like, this film almost feels like a symptom of like Harry Potter and the Twilight films combining. Like, teen film, this was like the period where the teen film was the money maker.
Yeah,
okay?
but this is
you
the one.
You just had shit like the first Marvel films come out; those were popular with teenagers. Then you got Hunger Games, sticking that nail in the coffin, baby.
Hollywood was run by those like teen dystopian movie actors for a long time.
Yeah, but I realised I was wrong now. It was after this, after the Hunger Games.
Yeah,
every
it
film
was the Hunger Games.
Really. So what you're saying, Ryan, is Decos was correct, and you tried to correct
was
him,
correct,
and you were wrong
for the first time in his life.
So the moral of the story is, I'm correct. Ryan's a dickhead, and Hollywood loves making money off children.
They do.
Wow. Anyway.
Yeah, but Decos, I get what you mean on it was better the first time, because I remember the first time I watched it, like being way more, because obviously I was way younger when it first came out, and like I remember being like, oh shit, like they're like killing each other, that was insane, and like being like freaked out by it. But obviously now you watch it like, whatever. So it kind of loses that like,
yeah, you're just like Lamau XD.
Yeah, it kind of misses the mark on what it's trying to like set. Like, you know when they like, when the murder scene first starts, and they all start running, like the music like cuts out, it's like, what? Like, what's going on? It's now like, Whereas before it's like, holy shit, they're like killing each other. And I was like, Yeah, I did this in Minecraft. Lame.
And Fortnite. Fortnite really killed.
Yeah, Fortnite. Oh.
Do they have Hunger Games skins in Fortnite?
No,
they should.
Don't.
No.
They should pay homage.
I was going to bring this up. I can't believe they haven't paid homage to their beginnings by adding a Katniss Everdeen skin.
Battle Royale.
Oh, no, we're not delving into that just yet. Save that.
It's not the first time Fortnite
Origin.
Homage to things it stole from.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Anyway, this is a bit too political for this.
Right, okay. Joe, what did you think?
What do you guys think of Trump running in 2024? Let's get really into it.
Well, I actually really enjoyed watching it again. This is the second time what the fuck am I saying? The second time I've watched it.
He's tripping.
Sorry. I've only ever watched it twice. This was my second time watching it, and I didn't actually remember it too well from when I watched it before. So it was kind of like I'd pretty much forgotten the movie. So I quite enjoyed watching it again, and I understand what you're saying. It doesn't have that impact like the first time, but that's because, like Deacon said, I think this film definitely set a stand-in for these types of movies for that kind of audience.
Yeah.
And everything else kind of like
This
takes.
was cinema for many years.
Yeah, and like a lot of movies I've took a lot from that. But I think that kind of helps this film because you go back to it and it may not be up to what things are these days, but you can look and be like, okay, this was one of the first films to like do something this big, and like on this like taking the books as well. And I tell you what, another thing, I only just found out that the books were written in like, what was it, Ryan? Like 2008?
Yeah, it's like 2008.
They
I thought
return
the
these
book,
2008 was like the first book.
bro. Honestly,
And
it
then they
makes me it makes me wonder if like
they
because
were
I
prepared.
always assumed that the books were like a bit like the Harry Potter books, like they were long time favorites that eventually got turned into film, or like the Lord of the Rings books that eventually got put onto the big screens. But I kind of feel now
Harry
that
Potter
maybe
was
these,
similar to
yeah,
Games,
I
by the
guess Harry
way.
Potter
It
was a bit
wasn't
similar, but
Lord of the Rings, yeah, because Lord of the Rings came out in like the 30s, didn't it?
yeah, long time
Yeah,
ago.
Yeah.
I feel
Tolkien
like
was the
these books
OG.
might have been made just
I
so they
know
could
that
produce
because
the
Marvel
movies.
made a reference to it. Sorry.
Jesus
Sorry,
Christ.
Ryan.
Yeah,
But
Joe.
yeah,
Basically, this was like when book adaptations of movies were really popular. I know I said I was wrong before, but I feel like I also wasn't with the whole like this film and like sort of Twilight.
I
Twilight
get
was,
what
you
you mean
know,
with Twilight,
Twilight
yeah.
was books turned into movies, and
Do you wanna
everyone
watch
was looking
Twilight,
to
Ryan?
create the next.
We
I have not. But what I'm saying is
we
everyone
have
was
to
trying to
get a
create.
boys
Everyone was trying to
gathering
create like
and
that
just
next.
watch Twilight.
This
I'm
is like,
telling you, it's
oh my God.
fantastic.
I've seen the
Get out
Twilight
of
movies.
get out of here, God, from a random episode of Parks and Rec. Get out of here.
No. You will sit down and you will have a genuinely fun time watching all of the
Yeah.
Twilight movies. You will, if you have alcohol, you're sat there with some friends. It is hilarious to
yeah.
watch these films. I don't actually think
Twilight
I've
watch
seen
party.
funnier films. If you sit down and just
Yeah,
watch
they
them,
are
it
very
is a hoot.
comedic.
You come out having a fantastic time. I genuinely think you guys all come over. We'll just watch all of them.
I
We'll do like
don't-
a massive
I
like
don't
podcast on
agree.
every single Twilight film, the Twilight series.
Okay, going back to the previous point though, of Joe saying these films weren't that old, they basically bought out the books, they were bestsellers, and because this was in that period where Hollywood was looking to turn books into movies, they instantly just picked up the Hunger Games. It's the exact same reason why they're making a new Hunger Games film.
Goddamn Hunger
soon.
Games prequel.
Because the new book did really well.
We're totally not trying to ride the coattails of that, by the way.
You'll find it funny how like that's not a thing anymore. Books into films because like and that
see,
quickly
the thing is,
turned over
because
because they don't make
books
books
are a
anymore.
better way to tell stories than films.
Mm.
Films you want to make more of an experience, whereas a book you're better at telling a story and getting into like the mind of a character.
Yeah, but nobody.
It's just no one's got time for that.
Yeah,
anymore.
no one reads fucking books though.
Yeah, no one does.
Audio
We create a
books.
movie podcast. Fuck books.
Fuck books.
The last
book podcast.
To prove your point of how nobody reads books, the last book I read was Hunger Games. And it was back in like secondary school.
I was expecting you to say the Bible, you heathen.
In a movie. What did you think? Come on, spill the beans.
I'm kind of with Decos. This is pretty mid. I mean, it feels like it definitely felt watching this back like it's a product of its era. I remember watching this in the cinema and thinking like, so I know. Oh yeah, okay, go ahead.
I want to put in. I don't like the fact you're agreeing with me. Please stop. This is more than one.
Ryan suddenly is like, all right, I love
a valid argument. But no, I know. I guess this is skipping forward a bit to general discussion, but I distinctly remember the scene at the end where they've got those like dogs.
Yeah,
chasing
the
them
fucking
down,
dogs,
dog gorilla things.
That's
I
so
distinctly remember that scene where like the dogs are mauling the guy, being like horrific.
Yeah.
Watching it back, it's just like this is dark, and the guy is kind of just screaming a bit.
Yeah.
They shot him. Oh,
Yeah, I remember
they
as a
were.
kid, like my parents were like, "Whoa, whoa," and like covering my eyes, like, "Whoa, you can't see that, you can't
Yeah,
see
it
that."
really. There's nothing happening
Whereas
there.
now
It's
I'm
just
just
a
like,
dude covered in dogs.
Yeah, it's like,
There's no blood.
he's just getting dogged.
Yeah.
Don't we all want that?
It was Monster Hunter level action.
If only we could
Whoa,
all
Like,
get
it
as
just-
many
yeah.
bitches as him.
It also this
whoa.
film as well also just
yeah.
forces the teen drama so hard between like Peter
Ah,
and Katniss.
Ah,
Like,
it's so.
Watching this back, it almost felt like Peter was just like a marketing genius who
Yeah.
understood that he was on a TV show and was like, "Yo,
Oh,
I'm gonna like,
yeah,
I'm gonna
definitely.
like convince the world we're like star-crossed lovers and
Yeah.
we're in this together to create
Yeah,
like
Smart
our
move, man.
create like our brand." And
Goddamn
then
feel like-
she's just there like pinning him against a wall, being like, "The fuck you say?"
Yeah, but it's
I
the
feel
fact
like-
that
Like,
throughout
why?
these films, she ends up falling for him when Liam Hemsworth has a thing for her. Like
He's
that
right,
fucking
yeah.
He's
gig,
right
like
there.
that 6'9" behemoth of a who's supposed to be. He's supposed to be 16 in this film, may I add, 16-year-old who looks like he
Yo,
pumps
this
like
big
iron. He
clown.
iron
What
every
do
second
you
of
mean,
every day.
Cameron? That's exactly what we all look like at 16
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I look exactly
Ryan,
like
you
that.
look the same.
Ryan looks
you
like
the
that
same
now.
as you did at 16.
Thank you. I mean, I look like Liam Hemsworth
Liam
still.
Hemsworth, yeah. It's the biceps,
Anyway.
Ryan. It's the
If
biceps.
Liam
Anyway.
Hemsworth was a
The person who
There
played
was a-
Katniss chose Liam Hemsworth in real life during those films.
the
so-
person
Did
that
you
Wait,
played
really?
Katniss.
Yeah, and Liam Hemsworth was with Miley Cyrus, so he
In-
cheated.
How
I
old
mean-
was he then?
I mean,
What?
that
He
was
was
Mi-
with Miley Cyrus at that
that
time.
was
Jennifer
early
Lawrence.
2010s Miley Cyrus
'Cause
who was swinging from a wrecking ball.
I know.
mean,
No,
on the
I don't think
one
it's a
Jennifer
hard
Lawrence
decision.
Well, to
was
be honest, you can't
21.
really blame him because on the one hand, he's just been in a multi-million, earning movie with Jennifer Lawrence, and on the other hand, Hannah Montana. I mean, you can't.
No, that wasn't
you can-
Hannah Montana. That was Wrecking Ball. That was Party in the USA period,
Right,
dude.
it might have not been this film per se, but the entire series, so towards the end ones.
Long line showdown. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Get a
Hey.
tussle. Get a punch in there. Punch a kid like they did in this
The
film.
only
Bang!
listenable
Right
bit
in
of the
head.
podcast.
All right. So
I did
Let's
like
go
how
first.
the characters went for the kids first. That was quite funny.
I think Joe should go first. Yes.
Me go first.
See, you're always the
Okay.
most prepared, so I feel like it's nicer to let you go
I am
first. so-
semi-prepared. I'm semi-prepared.
Semi-prepared. You got a semi?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Maybe. In this action-packed teen drama thriller, in my opinion, the largest spectacle is how the fuck Peter painted himself to look like a log. That's
Oh
what I
my
want
god,
to
it's a
know.
literal log line.
I agree. That was good.
We
How
got
did he,
there in
though?
the end.
How the fuck did
We
he? How
got
did he
there.
paint his
He
face
wasn't a
to
log
look like a
Joe.
log?
He was a rock.
No,
He
regardless.
painted
honestly,
himself like a rock.
What
He
the
was Rock
hell
Peter.
was that whole section? What
How
the
did he
fuck?
do his
No,
own face?
Joe, do you
though?
not
Like,
understand?
the
They
arms
foreshadowed
had
it beforehand.
No,
don't
okay,
give a
but there's
fuck if they
foreshadowing.
foreshadowed
Joe, he was
a
a
bit of
baker,
camera.
okay? He decorated the cakes. He decorated a man to look
You-
like a rock.
Yeah, but it wasn't just a bit of camouflage.
Joe,
like, it was
have you
full
not seen
Hollywood.
those TikToks where they
Bro.
have like the realistic looking cakes and then they cut them in half?
No, no,
and
no.
it's like,
No,
Right, they may have
no,
the
no,
realistic
but
looking
this
cakes,
was
like-
right?
This
But
was like
not
he
only
had the
was he
skills
just
of like
a crappy
he was
cake
also
decorator,
injured.
but he also used decorated cakes for a deprived society in
Yeah,
District 12. So there have been shit cakes that people could barely afford. So they'd be like just
Yeah.
some sponge with a sprinkle with some
maybe
sprinkles on.
maybe he was from like the rich family.
He
you know?
wasn't. He was in
No,
like a
I don't
crash
care what
one.
anybody says. It
His
wasn't
dad
like a
was in
bit
the
of
mob.
camouflage. He
His
had
dad's in
like
the mob.
equipped the skills of like a Hollywood professional prosthetic artist
Well, they
while
did have
in
they
a
did have
war
those on
zone.
set.
While he was in a war zone, and not only did he do it
Here's one I prepared earlier.
perfectly into a rock, but he was also injured at the time. And everyone else is getting murdered and running away, and yet he's found the time to do. And that would have taken hours.
Yeah.
Absolutely hours.
If anything, days.
Yeah.
Multiple
And
days.
apparently it was meant to happen only like a few hours after he'd been injured and ran away from the group. Yeah. I don't think so, Mr. Hunger Games man.
God damn. I respect that, Joe. I thought that was a good log.
All right.
Am I able to
carry on.
interject here and give my log line?
Yes,
Because
Cameron,
I think
go.
I've put together a pretty good one. But over the course of the few days, like reminiscing what happened with the Hunger Games, I think I've got some notes together for a pretty good one here.
In the past, like 5 minutes, whilst Joe's been faffing around with his.
Yeah.
So,
5 minutes.
Katniss wakes up, not remembering who she is. She has only a couple $100 left. She decides to waste it all on a competition called the Hunger Games, so she can get the $3 million prize. As Katniss makes new friends, she finds out she has to fight to the death. She starts to remember her friends and past.
I'm trying to figure out what movie's on.
So
I feel like it's become like a...
This one's deep.
Cameron's log lines are just, what movie am I talking about?
No, this one's good, though. This one's good.
In itself, because Cameron always chooses basically off another film, and we're left to try and decipher which movie it is.
This one is beautiful, though. You can't. This one could win at me. Just how good this one is. All right, you don't understand how I found this. I didn't believe it was real.
Is that the log line over, or is there more?
No, that's it.
Is it a movie called The Hunger Games?
Almost, basically, but not
the
at the same.
Starving Game.
No, so it's called Minecraft: The Hunger Games, the movie that someone is actually making. It's a synopsis for a film that is coming out. Minecraft: The Hunger Games movie.
Oh my god.
What?
Tom Kenny as Steve, Tara Strong as Alex, Tom Hanks as host.
Tom Hanks is in this movie. Whoever's casting this has got some.
No, this might be no. It might be a House Shark situation where it's like.
To be fair,
it's a dude called Tom Hanks.
It is beautiful, and plus, I'm pretty sure it's not real. But there's a synopsis for it, and that's all that matters.
There's always hope.
Oh, that was. I like that one. I like finding that one. It made me
was
happy.
Absolutely horrific,
I loved it. I loved every second of it, and that's all that matters. Ryan, off you go.
Okay. After volunteering in place of her younger sister to take part in the Hunger Games, Katniss Everdeen must endure a reality television hellscape created as punishment by the evil capital for a war that happened in a better-sounding movie. Determined to win so that she can see her Christopher Nolan-level character-developed sister again, Katniss must overcome hardened warriors such as Huey from the Amazon Prime original series The Boys, whilst also contending with teen drama romance from a boy who once fed her bread like a duck.
That was quite good.
It's true.
My log line's not over.
Oh, what?
Oh.
He's got the ducks. He's got the ducks.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the votes then. Digos, you want to go first with your vote?
I choose Ryan's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't choose Joe's after.
Cameron, you got to vote next. You're meant to vote first.
No, that's not. No, Joe's next. That's the setup we got. Joe, who do you vote for?
Cameron, you're the agent of chaos. Stop trying to vote not last.
I'm going to vote for Joe's because I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Thank you.
No worries, man. I like the spontaneity of it.
Thank you. Just made it up right there on the spot. I'm so good at it.
I love that.
I vote for Cameron.
The spot's 5 minutes. Also, it's going to end in a fucking Joe winning or Cameron winning.
I vote for Cameron.
Thanks, Joe. Very cool.
Oh, I'm the deciding vote because Decos didn't have one.
You can still vote for him.
I have one. It was said that is a recording of it. It's just you're not allowed to listen to it.
And we'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Sorry, dear.
We'll leave it at that. Just out of principle, I can't vote for Cameron.
Come on!
I've got to vote for Joe.
Minecraft Hunger Games movie.
Does that mean I win? Finally, again?
That means you do win, Joe.
He wins, right? Give him the severed finger.
Is it actually a severed?
Nah, it'd probably be an arrow, right? Like an arrow for like the
unless you
can
get like a long.
Mine
was a.
You see, it's so hard to get like so she's like a good.
Oh yeah, get Katniss Everdeen just like
just stretched out. Yeah, please.
Or Peter's just stood there because it was about him.
All right.
Also, can we talk about the fact that bread was a key plot point in this film? And how cool is that? There we go! With the power of moving magic, and have a stretched out Katniss 17 years.
There were no good. There was nothing else that was usable.
Beautiful, apart from an arrow. But this is funnier. So
there were no arrows.
We roll! Right. General discussion. Ooh, that's right. So actually, something that's been bugging me, if we're discussing just general things about the film, is why did they give her like a rank 11 on the dangerous scale when all she did was shoot an apple? Yeah, it was like close to him, but surely that's just her just being a prick.
No,
that's not her being dangerous.
She was willing to commit homicide.
You got to be accurate in order to hit the apple. So
yeah, but she previously just missed another target, so she got like 2 out of 3. That's like kind of accurate.
Yeah, that was like a kind of like a dumb thing. I know they got to put it in the film for like tension, but she hasn't missed the entire time she's been training.
She's like hit that fucking bird, like no problem. It's like, oh no, yeah, oh they're not taking it seriously. It's like, eh.
To be honest, you know, their vibe is entirely accurate. Like, you just know the second they're there for the schmooze. They're there for that hog with the apple in its mouth. You know,
and she fucks up the apple. Yeah.
You're number 12. They're there they've seen, you know, the best. Now you're the rest. Okay, so they're there to have that hog.
I would like to add
I actually
the guy who was
the guy who talked about the hog as well. Like, go him. He was like, "Hey, who got the hog?" And they were like, "Who
got the hog?" No, but that guy that was kind of in charge of it in this first film has one of the most perfectly cut beards.
Ryan, you should shave your beard like that.
Ryan should
get
a beard like that.
For reference, dear viewers and listeners, Ryan has a pretty glorious beard that over the years we've been helping him trim and change to perfection. It's looking really good on him right now.
I've been shaving it in my sleep. I don't condone
it. Could make that beard one step further and give him the Hunger Games like dictator dude beard.
A fresh Hunger Games twin.
Exactly.
Twin trim. Wait, which dude? You mean
you
mean President Snow or the Games Master?
He's like the director, like dictator, but this guy's just like
the Games Master.
The guy that was in charge of running the games.
The Games Master. We said it. Stop, Joe.
Whoa. Is there some beef?
Whoa.
What's going on? What's going on? It's just a pleasant fireside chat. We're stoking the flames. What's going on?
Not allowed to say. My freedom of speech has been suppressed and revoked.
No, it got taken away because you couldn't be adult enough to do a log line.
You trusted with it.
You couldn't be trusted with your free speech, so it's been revoked.
Deadly away from this. Also, can we talk about the goddamn interview bit? Like Peter was eating up the limelight in that, but. Like, why was everyone cheering on Katniss? Because she is like awkward as shit. Like, if I was in the audience, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Because she has boobs.
Bro, Peter played it the smartest out of all of them.
He was the mastermind.
Because it feels like that's a part in the. I don't know how much. I'm sure it goes into more depth in the books, but I feel like it's a part they quite brush over in the movies. Is the importance of getting the sponsors for the games.
Like, all they do is like,
seems to be the only one that considers that. Katniss is like, give me a bow and arrow and I'll win. Like, Peter's the only one that's actually playing the game.
No,
Peter is a marketing... I think I said this before, but Peter is a marketing genius.
Genius. 100% agree.
He literally just in the moment comes up with... maybe not even in the moment, maybe it was planned, but he just comes up with this, like, great idea if they should be, like, lovers. Like...
Well, no, I feel like
he's also like, for it, or like the idea is that it's sort of taken at face value that yes, he does actually love her, but I guess there's also the way because it isn't really that in depth explored. Like, they aren't really lovers in this. Let's be honest. They just sort of exist
I also
near each other.
Like the fact that Peter, he's not only pulling the strings on that, he's also pulling the strings on getting with Katniss at the same time. He's like, all right. Yeah, obviously this will save my ass, like marketing genius. But then he's like, but also a little bit of puss.
A little bit like a
guy. That's the only reason he went into the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
He was like, he probably even wasn't the one that got cool, but he saw her go off. He's like, it's my one chance.
Yeah,
the Hunger Game.
That's a different movie. Do not look at that film.
This man saw Katniss, saw Liam Hemsworth, and I can beat him.
Yeah, I can beat that because I know how he could have done it as well.
Liam Hemsworth was a little bitch in this film. Like, surely he's smart enough to realize that it was part of the game plan. He's there like getting all like,
all he had to do was volunteer as well and get in with her. and then boom,
Yeah.
it's like done deal.
But
Oh
he
my
was
god, yeah,
super-
that's a
Like
that is arguably a better movie.
Yeah, if he volunteers as well, yeah, it would have been way cooler. But no, they don't. And also, right, I feel I know how Peter could have done it because they mentioned for 1 second when she's like about to like get shipped off to like get killed, like they're let her sister and her mum's here, and the sister's like, oh, like you can't like. No, she says to her sister, now don't like get too much bread because we don't want to increase your chances of getting it next time. Which means like they must like clearly like trade like the amount of times they put in that bowl for like stuff. Like apparently they mention it. There's a line that said, so I guess that's what happens. So do you think fucking Peter was like, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna buy a whole shitload of bread and just
Yeah,
get
so he opened
the bowl
bakery.
full of my name. Yeah, the bakery didn't exist before he knew. Like, he's like, I'm gonna put my name. I'm gonna fill my bowl with that name, and I'm gonna take out bread under Katniss's name, or like under her sister's name, and I know she'll volunteer, and then she won't be
Holy
suspicious if her
shit.
sister gets in. So he's like orchestrates the whole thing.
Another movie all about the bread.
Yeah, and then that could be actually pretty good because then it's a whole twist in and of itself that he like orchestrated it just to get
No,
over the
so
puss.
that's why Peter wasn't like shocked when he gets picked.
Yeah, he's like,
He's just
oh,
like-
oh no!
he's just like, yeah, listen, I opened the bakery. Gotta be honest.
Oh,
Look, I gotta respect the
my
bread grind.
got me in the It's called the Hunger Game. Oh my god.
The hungry for bread.
He was
He's hungry for-
getting swole the whole time. He's been buffing up.
Yeah,
You know,
he knew.
he
He
was
knew he was
practicing,
gonna get in.
turn himself. He was turning that bread into rocks for months.
How good? How much better would this film be if that was the twist at the end? That he like made it so they both got in, so he could get a little bit of action. Like that would have been fucking crazy.
The whole that whole year in the Hunger Games was just like his promotion of his bakery. It was the biggest marketing ploy
Yeah.
ever.
You want me to decorate
bakery
the cakes like I
soaring
decorated my
afterwards.
arm? Come on down to Peter's.
Actually, holy
Peter's
shit, okay.
patisseries.
So they're given like a set of clothes, right, to go into the Hunger Games with.
Mm.
Why
Yeah.
aren't there literally sponsorships on their clothes?
Yeah, that
Why
was
isn't
way
that
true.
what sponsors
That's
are?
true. Well, she has the Mockingjay. That becomes.
That was not. No, that's actually
No,
like a
that-
symbol of fucking
yeah.
rebellion, Joe.
Yeah, that's just some bullshit.
right.
All right. Yeah, and also I really feel like they gloss over the whole sponsors thing, right? Like the whole.
Yeah,
I think
it
that's
really
been
is, yeah.
way.
It's used.
like,
It's used once to give her like
it's talked
magical
about
cream.
so much before the actual Hunger Games. Like, it's the only way you can win. You gotta get sponsors. You gotta be loved by the public. And then, I guess you do. Like, if you burn your leg, maybe they'll send you some cream. That's about it. It's like, like I thought they'd be like,
Okay, why?
helping out all the time.
Okay, so the bit where they get the bit where the sponsors come in is where Katniss is stuck in the tree, being like,
Yeah, like,
I
oh my
guess,
leg's
like,
burning.
siege.
Ah!
But that woman had so many more arrows left. Why doesn't she just like take
Yeah.
pot
she was
shots
a bit-
or wait until Katniss fell asleep and then
Yeah.
be like,
And she's like, oh, what are you going to do?
Wake
Throw
up,
your
you
sword
can shoot
next?
for free.
Yeah, throw your sword at her. Why aren't you doing that? Just throw it all. That guy, two of them had spears.
I do want to. I do want
unless
to.
Peter just has like charisma 100. So
Oh my,
that's
he
why he was so
convinced them all,
popular
yeah.
on TV. That's why he was able to convince them on the dice roll, you know, to stay at the bottom of the tree.
Fucking, I was about fucking Peter just like going, guys, why don't you stay at the bottom of the tree? And they all look at him. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll sit at the bottom of the tree. It goes, speech
A
increased.
green light appears like around the screen.
Speech has increased. Woo! Fucking hell.
Oh,
And then he
I will
takes a
say that-
fucking skill point he earned from leveling up speech, putting it into fucking art or some shit to get that bakery, like, fucking
Into
decoration
sneak.
skills. Ah! Fuck you,
Sneak
Peter.
100.
Sneak 100. This little bastard. Look at him. Even the picture you've got up on the fucking on the slideshow. Look at his little smug face when he's at that
His little
interview.
smirk. Yeah.
He was a great. The TV
Okay,
presenter
so
was
about
a
that
great
interview,
character.
can we next talk about Stanley Tucci in this? Because he
He
has
was
hair.
fantastic.
He has hair.
He looks
He
so
has
good with
hair.
hair.
Stillness. He's a
Blue
bold
hair.
man.
No, in this film, he ain't. He captures like
In every
that
other film, he's
idea
a
of
bold
like
man
over
slamming
the
a
top.
whiteboard and saying math.
He captures the idea of like the over top American TV late night host so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really, no,
He
really
does.
does.
You can tell that like his character he gets
The
paid like
casting
the
was
big
pretty
bucks.
good in this
Ye-
film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Hey Mitch, that's one of my favorite characters.
Oh, Yeah.
Haymitch,
You-
what's his name?
Oh yeah,
Woody,
Woody
fucking
Harrelson.
yeah, Woody
Woody
Harrelson.
Harrelson.
Great.
Fantastic in this
I
film.
like the contrast with him and the woman as well, who does the
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
thinking about this, I don't think
Them
Jennifer
together
Lawrence was
was quite-
very good in this. Thinking about it, I feel like she didn't really give too much of a
No,
performance.
I
think-
think
I
she's,
mean,
she's
it was
okay,
the
but
movie
this was
that-
a breakout film, right?
Yeah, this was the movie
yeah,
that put
that's
her
why
on
it's
the
like
map.
her first
And she
one.
was
to, like, get her
only
out there,
like,
yeah.
I think she was very young.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
at the
she
same
was only
time-
21 when she did this. It was like literally like her first proper film that she was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought
Yeah,
the
but
only
no
good bit that was really
They're
selling
about
it was where she was like
21-year-olds,
just before she went into the tube and like she was like shaking. I was like, damn, that would have been fucking hard to
Yeah,
do,
that
like
was
getting those
good.
shakes looking
Yeah.
like actually legitimate. Like that was like I was like tensed up. I was like, oh shit, she's going in the tube. She's
I
shaking,
gotta
she's
say
freaking
about
out.
Jennifer Lawrence in this film. No, she's not like my favorite actor or anything, but I do
She's an
think she's
actress.
get. I think in the first half of this film, she's not particularly great. Like, if you actually noticed, when she like volunteers as tribute, her voice cracks,
Yeah.
which is kind
But
of
that
funny.
can play
Yeah,
into the.
I don't know why I didn't get. I don't know why I didn't get another retake of that. You know.
No, I
that
guess it gets like
adds
added
to
to
the-
it,
that
right?
adds
to
Like
the
she's super
realism.
desperate, so she's like, ah!
Yeah.
Well,
like,
I
sort of
think
thing.
once, as Joe said, basically once she's in that tube, then she's really good. I think throughout the rest of the film, when she's
Yeah.
actually in
Once she's
the Hunger
actually-
Game,
Yeah.
she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
I really
fair.
Well,
like
that she's kind
that
of like
opening fight scene
it's
as
kind-
well. Was
she's kind of playing like quite a generic character.
Yeah,
Then.
But I think it's just so contrast because obviously like everyone else like had a bit of like acting chops when they were in this, but obviously because it's our first one, I feel like because I've seen Jennifer Lawrence in a few things over the years, like she's come a long way like since then, so it's kind of like a contrast, like see where she is now, see where she was then. It's like oh look she seems bad, but actually like it's just like she's just got better over time. And
Yeah,
I just
given
remember
this
it.
is like one,
for the first film, to be fair,
not
pretty-
early in the career,
pretty
was
solid.
it?
Yeah, like not like first like actual film, but like just like first proper like big Hollywood one. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, I was probably a little too harsh there. That's my bad.
Not even her first big Hollywood
I'll retract.
film.
I'll retract.
The previous year she had X-Men.
First one I remember.
Oh, and the Beaver. The Beaver.
That is not count. No.
the Beaver.
The Beaver with Mel Gibson, directed by Jodie Foster.
Damn. Wasn't she? Wait, in X-Men, she's Mystique, right? It's fucked. Anyway, what do you guys think of like just the general like camera shots in this? Like, yeah.
Oh my word!
Anyway.
Oh,
He has a lot to say.
oh,
He has
this
a lot to
is
say.
the bit where I want to die.
Yeah, kid.
And
But actually, you know
because
what?
you're lagging way too much to speak.
I'm
This
going to
is-
bust out the old thing. Hold on. Effects, camera, action. What do we think? Ryan, go. There we go.
This is where this is like its weakest point. Every single action shot is shaky cam. Even not even action shots just have this shaky cam. It's such like a symptom of the era that shaky cam was cool. Fuck you,
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz. You kind of caused this.
To be fair, I get why they needed it, especially in that first bit
Because
where they're
fuck all
like,
was happening,
No,
so
no,
they
no.
have to convince you that something cares.
yeah, when they're slaughtering like each other. Obviously, to keep the 12 rating, they're like, right, kind of shake so you can't really see too much what's going on, so we can get it like not the R rating.
Yeah, so you
sort
don't
of
have
thing.
to show the gore.
Yeah,
you can
the
just
actual
go
getting like
it's
killed and
shaky.
stuff. Yeah, it's shaky. Oh, yes. Yeah, sort of thing. So I get
But yeah,
why, but
this
yeah,
is-
it was shit. I hated it.
It's so similar to like World War Z in that sense, which came out like the year later, where it's just they want to keep a lower age rating, so instead of showing you real action, they show you shaky cam.
Yeah.
Oh, you're disoriented. It's just the action. No, it's your shite camera work. Hold it still. Let me fucking see Rue get. Let me see Rue get speared. Release the Rue speared cut. Okay, I want to see her like. I want to see like a tear from her eye as she gets like speared through the heart by Huey from The Boys.
Huey from The Boys. Yeah, boy, he's so random. isn't
Huey
he?
from
He's
The
just
Boys.
there.
This was his first movie. This is the first film he was ever in.
Damn.
Fun fact about that.
Yeah, he had put considering from what I've seen him in The Boys, where he's got a pretty like sweet cherub face. In this, he had permanent resting bitch face the entire time. He was just pissed off
No,
constantly.
he was more like the hard lads.
Yeah, he was one of the hard
Also,
lads, which does not fit with Huey whatsoever.
Also, kind of ironic that he is in the TV show that's meant to be like an anti-superhero film when he plays the character Marvel in this film.
Ah, yeah, that's pretty good. For fuck's sake.
I was not good.
Yeah,
I would have
but
to say that I actually, to counter Ryan, I really enjoyed the opening fight scene.
oh no, I enjoyed it. I just thought like the camera wasn't the best. Like I still enjoyed
Like
it.
but I don't know. I feel it adds to, like, the chaos because like you got to put yourselves in
But
their shoes. Like you're running in. It's like you've got it's life or death. There's a bunch of so like you have to put yourself in their shoes. You're running in, and like the adrenaline's pumping. Like you got people coming at you from everywhere. People are dying. Like one guy's stabbing a kid in the face. There's a whole bunch of shit.
you can't see it.
Yeah, but they wouldn't see it. They'd like be running towards the weapon of choice, and then trying to get out of there. But I don't know. I quite enjoyed it.
I feel like when you're in like a state of
sorry.
There you go. You go.
Is it just me that I could have sworn I have a memory of when they're on those podiums? I could have sworn that the first time I watched it, somebody steps off the podium.
That's another one. That's like the second Hunger Games film.
Blown up. No, it's not, because so basically when I watched these, I watched them a few weeks ago. I watched all of them. I just did like a binge watch, and it doesn't happen in any of them. It's like a rogue memory that I have, but I could have sworn
I remember that
in
as
the
well.
first one. It is the Mandela effect. So I looked it up afterwards. Apparently, lots of people say the same thing. So I was curious as to whether or not you guys had this memory or not. But I could have sworn that in that opening scene, someone steps off early and gets blown up, and that's like a shock factor thing that happens like off the bat before the timer even goes. But it doesn't happen. It's non-existent in the movies. So I thought that was quite an interesting thing to bring up.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Something that I never remember. I guess I never remembered this from watching it, and was kind of confused. Was that they actually, the rule swap, right? Where they're teams of two can win, and then just backtrack on it. I never remembered that happening. I always just thought it was they get to like the final bit, and they're like, "Oh, we're the final two. One of us has to die." But sort of out of like, I guess, protest. Are like, both of us should die. I never remember them being like, "Nah, you can both win."
Peter's a bit of a bitch, though, man. I'll be honest. Like, if he says that he loves her, and one of them has to eat the berries, he's got to be doing that. But he was just like, "Oh yeah, we'll both do it." I would have just like, if I was Peter, I would have been like, "You."
Yeah, apparently that blowing up thing was in the Starving Games, the parody movie.
Okay,
yeah, and it was also in the book, and like from Reddit, because obviously it's Reddit. There's like just one guy getting really angry at people saying they remember it, going, "You've all consumed too much media, you Mandela-ridden fools." And it's like, fuck off! Like what? Why are you getting angry? Like, fuck Reddit. But yeah, it was fun time. Well, yeah, you know what? When they actually get into the actual Hunger Games and they're going around doing stuff, this film is actually it's relatively entertaining.
It comes a bit late though.
Yeah.
I feel like this film spends too long in building up.
I'm actually against
for the game. No, wait, no. But in my opinion, the first half is a bit too long because that is meant to be the bit that builds up to the Hunger Games, and yet it doesn't do much building. Like before we get into the Hunger Games, I mean, I'm the only, unless I'm wrong, that whole first half of the film, they don't mention once that they can spawn mutated dogs. They don't mention once that there's like artificially made, food and insects that are there to kill you. They don't mention once. Like, it's just like, what? It's just like now it just feels like they're cheating. It makes like when I'm watching it, I feel like, well, this is pointless, because what's the point in having a battle royale there if you can just spawn in these hellhounds that just like spawn kill a guy? Like, that's not fair.
Yeah, like they should have
never explained. They never explained.
No, they don't.
That thing they put the dogs into, right? Are the players in a holodeck? Or
I don't know.
Are these people How does that bit work?
Are they growing these mutated dogs?
Yeah, it seems
Are
so
they just
stupid.
and
It
how
seems
do they
so
release them?
stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
And
like a very abstract UI, like Assistant Miles
and
away?
like why is it that some of them know about this but some of them don't?
It's
Like
all
for
real.
example, Katniss understands that you can't eat these artificially made berries that are there to trick the players. Yet Peter's like, oh, berries are just eat all of them.
Nom nom nom.
Yeah, it's like
Speaking of those berries, there's a theory because one of the girls died from eating the berries, but
Yeah,
she's
'cause
the one in the training that was able to pick out and identify what plants and all that stuff were. You know that one, the girl, like the keyboard, pressing all these things.
Oh right,
The
yeah.
theory that she knew what it was and she voluntarily chose it, so because she didn't want to be there, so she just killed herself.
That makes a lot of sense.
But also
Yeah.
maybe that bait
It does set
berries.
Bait berries, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Also,
Maybe they're in like
They
look
knew
like.
that she knew, so they knew that by putting in a berry that looked identical but was poisonous.
Yeah, they just fucking kill
I
her.
just think that like they did all this build up and like
the fan favorite.
You got Haymitch and you got the other woman who was the what they call like the trainers, the ones that are meant to like help them get the mentors. That's right. And it's not. It feels like they didn't really fucking tell them much. I mean, if I was Haymitch, I would have been the first thing I would have said to Katniss and Peter. I'd be like, yeah. So basically, try your best, but know at any point they can spawn animals from like hell can hunt you down. So if you get caught by them, it's kind of game over.
They can create fire. They can do all sorts of shit. If anything, I feel like they should have taken a thing out of because obviously, they're like, oh, look, they've got all the supplies. They've got this big base in the middle that they're like camping. Oh, we need to go destroy it. It's like, yeah, you can. Or you can just go away and make your own base somewhere else. Because the arena is, I feel like they should have had like, like with like proper Fortnite style, like properly like shrinking down the arena sort of thing. So they like slowly getting less and less
Cameron,
space.
This came before the Fortnite.
I know, but it still would have been a good idea, like slowly closing in this arena.
Battle Royale actually did that.
And they're just like, oh my god! Yeah, or like, just use the fire, the artificial fire, to section them in, so they're like slowly getting closer and closer together.
Most of them were psychopathic fuckwits who were trying to hunt each other anyway.
I know, but it's like, yeah, that adds to it. Like, people do that just generally, but like, it forces stuff down. And then they don't need the hellhound.
There's a certain joy on live TV of just watching someone slowly starve to death.
Fuck's sake. That's true. And plus, I guess it goes on longer then, right? So they get more people to watch it.
So the sponsors, they earn more money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although it can still, you can have like, spectacle.
I imagine they try and make it like a week-long event. You got like Hunger Games week. You got all the hype, the build-up.
Yeah, that would be good. Do you think they deliberately get people out of danger then? Like, let's say it's gone too quick. They deliberately save people so it goes on longer.
Oh shit! I don't know whether this is. I swear I remember, like, in the Hunger Games lore, it's some shit like one of the Hunger Games, they just made it in, like, the Arctic, and everyone just died of exposure really quick. And it made for, like, absolutely blank TV, because it was just, like, a bunch of teenagers freezing to death, and the one who survived found, like, a cave lived.
Like, genuinely, I know they're coming out with this new film. I think it looks a bit shit from the trailer. But
it will be.
Oh, it will be. Yeah.
I did a bit of digging because I quite enjoyed Haymitch's character, and obviously he's a mentor, so he's the. So I did a bit of digging, but before this podcast, I was like, I want to find out what his Hunger Games was like. And honestly, the story of his one would make a far better movie than any of these Hunger Games they've made. Because basically, in his one, exactly what you're saying, it goes on a bit too long.
Hunger Games lore.
It goes on a bit too long. Like, because it's like but their arena's on like a mountain, and then like right after about like a week and a half, they decide to turn the mountain into a volcano, and the volcano just erupts and starts flooding the map with like lava. So they kind of have to quickly find each other and like hunt each other down before they all get taken out by this fucking lava.
That's
that is
fucking
a way
great.
That'd
be way better film to watch. I'd watch
honestly,
the hell out of
that. So much better.
Yeah, but because obviously, like, they want the spectacle. They want people to be like, oh shit, like, they get those like cool hellhounds. Like, why don't they just create other cool shit? Like, just shit happening.
Honestly.
Like, let's just create a fucking tornado in the middle and just see what happens. Just fucking go. It just like has like a tornado.
Hunger Games lore is genuinely interesting and would make for some banging like high budget B movie type things. You know, just explosions everywhere. Just have it be dumb as fuck. You know.
Yeah.
You don't need characters, but like there's so much great lore in the Hunger Games, and they're just like.
That has given me a great idea for this week's What's to Know with Joe, but I'll save it.
Oh, and they could have like themed. I know they have like themed Hunger Games already, but even more themed. Like this is the fucking zombie Hunger Games. After day 3, we summon the dead.
Like, it would be so literally just make it. You know, as a TV show that people are watching. Just have us be as the audience watching the TV show. People are fucked in the head.
Save your concepts for the end of the episode.
What's to Know with Joe?
Maybe.
Ryan, I think you had a point you wanted to bring up. You wanted to discuss, maybe?
Yeah. So there's kind of a elephant in the room whenever you're talking about the Hunger Games, and it's the Japanese film Battle Royale. I mean, in the film, it's where the name Battle Royale comes from, I believe. And it's kind of obvious that the Hunger Games rips off it. Now, Joe, I'm aware you've got a bit to talk about regarding this.
Have I?
Yes, you idiot. Why would I throw to you?
What have I got to say? I thought you were discussing it.
Oh my.
Wait,
discussion implies two. Oh my god. Joe, earlier in the week, were you not the one who said to me you had found an article from Quentin Tarantino?
Oh, yeah.
The director
okay. You threw that to me really off. That was not a good segue at all.
You were saying when we were agreeing to do this that you wanted to do it.
Okay, well, I don't remember that. That was a terrible segue. No, what Ryan is talking about is, at first, Ryan brought this up earlier in the week when we were discussing what we were going to be talking about this week.
Games.
And I at first I set out, in often cases when Ryan is so certain about a point, I like to try and find out if he's wrong. Okay, and so I set out to be, at first I didn't know that. I assumed the books that came out a lot earlier, so I was going to try argue that the books came out before Battle Royale. That isn't the case, so he is right there. So you could argue that Battle Royale set this kind of idea. Hunger Games took it. And I was going to try a rebuttal. However, I did discover an article. The great Quentin Tarantino himself is also he's quite vocal about the fact that he despises the Hunger Games and its franchise, because one of his favorite movies of all time is Battle Royale, and he's a firm believer that the Hunger Games completely
that is awesome.
ripped off this. And so, to be honest,
Tarantino made a Battle Royale film. Holy fuck.
Quentin Tarantino says it, I don't really know what much of a debate there can be. I mean, I won't go in depth with the whole interview, but he does pick out some quite key points to say that this film influenced a lot of stuff like Hunger Games that came out.
Battle Royale, you've got like calling out the deaths of characters. That's a very specific thing, sort of on board. I guess what this film doesn't do as well is it doesn't really take you. I was gonna call it onboarding. Does that make sense?
It doesn't bring you along with the other characters.
It doesn't. When a character's about to die, you don't like flip to them. Whereas Battle Royale, it's like you'll see a character once, and their entire purpose is to die. This film also doesn't feature the legendary Takeshi Kitano either. That's a huge element. No, Takeshi Kitano. He's a Japanese comedian, actor, and filmmaker. He is in Battle Royale. He's
nice.
Actually he makes oddly like mellow films, which is kind of wild. But he's in Battle Royale. He's absolutely brilliant in it. He's sort of like the I guess the games master. He eats cookies as he's dying. It's great.
Oh yeah. But
this film kind of. I don't know whether Battle Royale actually. I think it did come up with the idea, right? That's why it's called Battle Royale.
Yeah,
it's one of the films that when you think about this whole Battle Royale type idea, that movie name Battle Royale is one that people normally point to.
But it's also the idea as well of it's like it's teenagers as well that are forced to do it by a government. It just both films are very similar. The only difference, well, I guess the biggest difference is that in Battle Royale, they have two people in the games who are like voluntarily there because they won previous ones, and they're literally just anime villains. One of them, actually, no, one of them's an anime villain, the other one is an anime hero, and they're just sort of there hanging out. It's fucking amazing. Whereas Hunger Games doesn't have this, you know. Think of all the Battle Royale formats, you know, like the Robot Wars. I believe that was here in the UK. We've had this.
Oh yeah,
Robot
oh yeah,
Wars.
that's what we were
We
talking
got like
about.
Matilda. Basically, Matilda is in Battle Royale. She ain't in Hunger Games. She ain't represented.
What we gathered here is that the idea of Hunger Games came from Robot Wars because that came before Battle Royale. So, anywho, that's all that needs to be said on that.
All right, cool feeds. Right, hopping on to the scoring then. We'll start with Decos again. Decos, where do you think this should go?
Pardon?
Where do you think it should
Someone's
go?
got a favourite child.
What?
I am favourite today. I thought Ryan agreed with me. Cameron picked me first.
Come on, Decos,
Okay.
where you want it? Where you want it? It's because Decos, your opinions are valid, and I want to know them. Because you're a sweet boy.
I'm gonna say C. It is just a mid film.
Yeah, that's fair. I respect that. All right, cool.
Mid.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, all right, nice.
It's just,
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
very
just-
insightful.
Nah,
Very
to be fair, that kind of says enough about the film, right? Like, yeah, I enjoyed it, but
No,
don't really have much
I
to
think
say
that's
about it.
harsh.
Right,
I think that's harsh.
We can cut this bit right here, but my internet is struggling and I'm hearing every other word. That's the best I've got.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. That's fair enough.
That's fair. All right, cool. So, hopping on to Ryan next. Ryan, where do you want to put it?
I'm going to be a bit more harsh than Decos. I think this is D tier. It's just okay. There's not really based on the tier list that we currently have, which is sort of where I'm now, because it's pretty comprehensive now. I'm beginning to rate it based on where these films are. I can't say I enjoyed it more than any of the films in C tier. Maybe Aliens, because fuck Aliens. That was bumped up by Cameron's rating of it.
It's a lie. He's lying.
Anomalous result. But
you're the anomalous result.
I feel like in the Hunger Games, the build up to the Hunger Games is more entertaining than the actual fucking Hunger Games, because nothing happens in the Hunger Games. It's just teenagers running around in woods for about 60 minutes whilst the camera shakes. That's kind of it.
I think
it isn't entertaining action. The end fight is just like mid. There's just the plot flips for no coherent reason. There's nothing really that's like built up. You don't care about the character.
The bakery, the bread.
This is a thing. This is a thing with like going back to the film Battle Royale. You care when just these random ass characters die because they do a better job of character development in like a minute of screen time than the Hunger Games does in an 2-hour like long stretch for Katniss.
That's true. In all fairness, I gave 0 fucks when Rue died, and they really wanted you to like feel sad about it, but I just didn't care. I was like, eh.
I can't remember who brought this up already on the podcast, but in 2012, when Rue died, it was the biggest fucking thing. Everyone cared that Rue was dead. And you watch this film now and you're like...
It's like, I don't care. I have more emotional ties to a fucking raccoon.
Did we really give a shit? Or were we just like emotionally deprived by 10 years of noughties comedy? You know?
I'm more emotionally tied to a rabbit called Floor. Floor!
Floor was the Rue of Guardians.
Floor!
No, I think those two ratings have been incredibly harsh.
Right, Joe, where do you wanna put them?
I would say fair.
I am out of. Look, the rest of the films, by all means, they are kind of lackluster.
Yeah, those ones get weird. Basically, after this one, they get weird.
Yeah, they just get a bit trash. But I think the first one is a strong movie. Okay, I think it's enjoyable. I think disregarding the argument of whether or not it stole ideas or whatever, if you go into this film not knowing about all that, I think you'd find it's a good concept. I think it's interesting, and it was very innovative of the time. You know, we had that whole discussion. I think for that reason, I think B. I enjoyed it. I actually really liked this movie.
All right. Yeah,
it may not stack up to stuff these days, but that's what happens when films age. But you I mean, you yourself, Ryan, you keep saying, oh, you know, it had more impact back in when it first released, but that's a good thing. That means that in that day and when this movie came out,
But
it was
Joe,
the top. It was the top. You can't compare it to
no, because
nowadays.
the mark of a good movie is one that has a lasting
Not
power.
an action movie, because they're always going to progressively get whatever.
Predator,
Whatever.
Alien.
I'll end my point.
Action movies endure if they're good. This isn't a good action movie.
I disagree.
Doesn't endure.
I think a lot of people
It's right next
disagree.
to Daisy, of a film that came out and humanity tries to forget.
I think a lot of people disagree, and for that, I think it's a B tier film.
Respect, Joe. I respect your opinion, and it makes it. To be fair, it makes sense. What you're trying to say makes sense. I get it.
I do not, and I respect
Cameron,
less for this.
you will decide whether or not.
I agree with D. See, I've kind of pulled a lot of ways, but I disagree with Digo, so I'm going to put it in C. Yeah, I'd say C, just because like I enjoy it. I think like I can sit down and I can watch it, and I'm not going to like walk out the room. I'm like sat down, like chilling. It's like yeah, all right. Like at least I come out going yeah, it's all right. But I'm never like, oh, the Hunger Games, holy shit. So like, so I think it's just kind of like, yeah. So I'll pop it in C.
I will say, I guess bringing it back a bit to Cameron's point as well. I will say, for the benefit of this film, the dystopian vibes are on point.
Yeah, they are.
It's such a dystopian vibe movie.
Yeah,
if you just go back everything,
I think out of the YA movies, of that era, this was the best. Out of all of the ones that they tried to churn out, this was the best. Mostly because it was one of the first, but it was one of the best. Yeah, so we can give it that.
But it also gave us. It also deserves C tier because it gave us like 2 years of pain before 2016 rocked up and just blew movies back out of the water again.
C tier film then.
C tier. All right. Movies, magic, let's move it in there. Let's do it now. All right, go. Right, The Hunger Games is nestled quite happily in C tier, which to be fair, I think in most people's like scales of movies, The Hunger Games would probably be in like C tier. So it's pretty average for like based on like the letterbox scores and stuff, it pretty much sits around there. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. All right, so now on to the community favorite wants to know with Joe, where we get to know what Joe wants to know. Joe, what do you want to know?
Just a quick question for you. Is this Mia's favourite segment?
Mia's favourite segment is the logline segment. I think that's a common favourite. She doesn't like What's to Know with Joe because I always pester her with questions whenever we watch movies. So she kind of has that every single time.
Yeah. She already knows what Joe wants to know.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to know. I'll ask you guys. I touched on it earlier. Quick fire. If you could create the arena for the annual Hunger Games, I want to know what you'd include and any kind of special surprises you might have in store for the contestants.
So I have a really good one that I've been building for years.
We'll start with Cameron.
Building it for years. I've been coming up with this since years. I brung it up in a year 7 what is it? PSHE class, and the teacher was heavily disturbed, and like me and a friend were like, it just makes sense. So this is something. It's not really too much about the arena. It's just a type of Hunger Games I'd want to see, and that is old people Hunger Games. And it could be a way of like when old people hit 70, their names get put in a jar, and like 2 from like every district gets taken out, and then it's like they just have to fight to the death, and it'd be absolutely hilarious.
I think that's just a culling of the old elderly.
Agatha is hobbling towards like Ethel, and she's holding a boulder. Her little
I think you mentioned this to me in the past.
Yeah, I'm pitching to everyone.
Oh no, we're on day 3. Poor Deirdre's had an aneurysm. She is out. God damn, we got another one down.
Ethel needs her sponsor to send her some heart medication because she is having a bad time.
She's run out.
She's run out. She didn't bring enough in a Monday to Sunday pill jar. She forgot.
Hale's heart's given out.
And unfortunately for silly old Barbara, they didn't put a wheelchair ramp in off the podium, so she is still stuck up there.
Oh my god.
Okay, perfect.
Can somebody get me down?
Ryan, that's a strong one to try contest with. What kind of Hunger Games would you like?
I don't think I could contest for that, but I'm gonna go with one which I think it would be stupid. It's set in a shopping mall, like a massive, like I guess like a 5x5 mile shopping mall.
Oh, that'd be good.
Where it's just like
in this Hunger Games, would you spawn killer robots?
Like, it's got everything in there. There's like weapons, there's food. It doesn't matter. You've just got to find them in the store, and like occasionally on the PA, they're giving like updates of where people are. It's like
it would make sense for the Hunger Games as well, right? For the whole sponsor
Subject
thing.
number 12 is in aisle 57. Subject number 12 is in aisle 57. Go kill him, please.
It would make so much sense though in the Hunger Games universe for like the sponsor thing. Like, oh, they're in the shop. Oh, he's picked up a can of Coke, and like he turns to like
it's like World War Z.
Yeah, he turns to the camera and like shows the can of Coke, hoping Coke sends him meds or something.
It's just the Truman Show at that point.
Yeah.
We're down to the final two contestants, and what's this? Jamie's picked up a bottle of Prime, everybody. Wow, look at that. Wow, we're really
Will Logan Paul send him a battle axe? Find out next episode on...
And KSI's
he's killed him with the Burger King bludgeon.
And Deirdre is still on that podium. She could not get down.
Thank you for joining us this week. We are the ones for our Hunger Games rating, and which we've put to C tier. Man, I'm scuffing everything I'm saying right now, but that's besides the point. Hunger Games is at C tier. Thanks for listening. We're the worst movie podcast in the world. We have socials. I think we're starting to upload more stuff to TikTok, Letterboxd. Check out our description. Yeah. We'll have all the links to them. Have a little look-see. Leave a like, leave a comment, ring the bell, subscribe, and we'll see you next week where we're going to be doing, hopefully, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Which should be fun. Ooh.
Big film.
Big film.
Very big film.
Where I'm assuming everyone's going to really love it and Ryan's going to dog on it. So this should be fun. It'd be kind of, we've got a formula.
Yeah, but by expecting to hate it, I might like it.
I guess we'll see. Reverse psychology. Right. We will Join us next week and have a good week, everyone. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Hurrah.